Hello, and welcome. Just going to wait for a few people to join. Like the header says, I no longer am going to put this Facebook live on delay. I have been delaying it and using every excuse under the sun. I don't know why. Every time I set a date or go to do this live, something always comes up. It's never the right time. There's always something. And I literally felt my ego finding a reason. Hello, Michael, and hello, Alexander. Hello, Jenna. Tell me where you guys are tuning in from and give me one thing right now that you are grateful for. Hello, John, Kaz, how you doing? Monique, Sam. Johnny, one thing that you're grateful for right now, I'd love to hear. Let's raise the vibration of this live and let's crank up our Thursday afternoon. So, I've been putting on this live. I even felt my ego very sneakily doing the whole, San Diego, Jenna, awesome. Hello, David Bentley, how you doing? Narelle. I felt my ego very quickly saying, no, don't do the live now. Just straighten your hair first. Like, at least look camera ready. Straighten your hair first. I'm like, no, because then 3 o'clock will become 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock will become 5 o'clock. Then you'll have a client call. Then it'll be dinner time. And then another excuse has come. So this is me just literally nipping this delay in the bud and just going for gold on this live and just trusting that the right people are going to hear this message. I guess my intention, loving all the gratitudes, guys. Lisa, thanks for joining. What we're doing right now is just joining in one thing that we're grateful for right now. Camo, Nat, how you doing? Not only did I want to share this because I fucking wish so badly that when I was going through this thing, 2.5 years ago now, that I had someone just come and tell me the truth or a different perspective instead of drowning in what YouTube and Google has to say about twin flames and literally swimming in that and consuming in that. So just to give you a bit of a different perspective, and also to be honest, just to get more vulnerable with you guys. I know vulnerable is a word that always gets thrown around a lot these days, but more personal, I should say, and potentially vulnerable because, to be honest, I don't know why I'm feeling like my heart is just racing right now. And it's not because it's I've shared this story before, it's in my book, and I've shared it at my workshops. However, there's a big difference between sharing it at your workshops when there's 40 people in the room or 50 people in the room as to putting it on Facebook. Do you know what I mean? And a lot has actually transpired since my last live on just my shame around sexuality. And I did promise you a part 3 series, a 3-part series. So this is part 2. And part 3 is going to be a ripper too, but just getting you guys to bring you into my inner world a little bit more. So I hope you enjoy. Grab some popcorn, sit back, relax. I'll try and land my plans quickly and land my points quickly. I do tend to go on some tangents, so apologies in advance. But yeah, here goes. So basically, and by the way, hello Sage, how you doing, babe? So good. Jessica, awesome. So basically, I remember, after I hit my rock bottom, the day after, as I set really 2 powerful intentions. And this is kind of one of the things that had such a huge impact. Hello, Lana. I'm going to stop saying hello to everyone. It doesn't mean I don't love everyone and appreciate everyone for being online right now. It just means I need to tap into the energy of my message, and I don't want to get distracted, but hello, and I love you, and thank you all for joining. So this thing in particular had a huge impact in my life, in my spiritual development, as who I am as a person, in raising my vibration, massive impact in my self-belief, in my conviction, in my vision, in my obsession with vibration. It's basically the crux of it, the core of it. And I remember the day after my rock bottom, I set 2 really clear intentions. So I was like, okay, like who do I want to be? Like who do I want to be in this world? And I remember one of the intentions was I wanted to be an inspirational and successful life coach. And then I thought to myself, well, that's all good and well, but what's the point in being, having this empire, building my empire, becoming this person if I don't get to share the journey with someone special? And I was like, what up, Tara? I was like, you know, I love having been in a relationship. I love being intimate with someone. I love having sex. I love having mad chats. I love being in a relationship. But more importantly, I had this deep urge. Like I really wanted to be with my soul awakening, extraordinary, earth shattering soulmate love. You know, that kind of love is what my soul was calling in for, not just success in a business sense, in a lifestyle sense. I wanted someone to share it with. So the second intention I actually set was literally pen on paper, and I wrote this down, and I still have the workbook for it. And if anyone wants the workbook that I actually used, let me know. I can link you up, like just private message me. It's called an intention setting worksheet. It's literally just helped me so much. But I remember writing, I now set an intention to meet, excuse my disgusting nail polish. I now set an intention to meet the mirror reflection of my soul. They were literally the words I wrote, and I don't know where that came from. It's just pen went to paper, and that's what came out. And 16 days later, exactly, is when it all started to unfold. Now, I won't go too much into this, but basically what ended up happening was, Lana, they're pretty horrid. I've been scratching them this morning with the intention of using nail polish remover later on today, but Bob's your uncle. That would have been just another excuse not to go on live. So basically I was living with a housemate about 2.5 years ago. So this was March the 29th, 2016. And I was living with, I'm not going to name names, because if I name names, then this person is going to know who I'm talking about. And this person that I fell in love with is now happily married to another woman. So I don't want to get them involved, and you know, there's no point to that. So for the purposes of this, we're going to call my housemate, and we're going to call the other person, why don't we call her Twin Flame, right? So basically, my housemate has a sister that lives in Sydney, and the housemate from Sydney was basically coming down for about a week to do some work, and was going to stay with us in my house with my housemate. Just to stay with the, so she can save, you know, money on accommodation. And you know, I was kind of excited to meet her. I'd heard some really good things about her, and I remember kind of like the day that was happening, I felt like this weird sensation that something huge was about to happen, like something massive was about to shift in my life, and I didn't know what it was. I just kept on like feeling kind of a bit on edge, a bit anxious, you might say, and typical Alex back then went to, you know, calm her nerves, had a couple of gin and tonics while waiting for my housemate and her sisters to come home. And, you know, and I kind of was like, oh, maybe I'm just jet lagged, because I remember I flew home from Singapore that very day. So I'm like, maybe it's just jet lag. It's no big deal. So housemate and sister walks in the house. Now, a lot of this stuff that I'm about to tell you is not a huge deal. Hello, Alan. Thanks for joining. It's not a huge deal when you look at all of them. And I agree. Things like, you know, as soon as I greeted the housemate's sister, there was like this crazy like familiarity, is that how you say the word? Feeling like I'd come home, like this weird energetic pull. And I'm not much of a hugger, or I never used to really be much of a hugger. I was kind of like one of those awkward huggers, you know. So for me, I was like, wow, it's really strange. And then about after 4 or 5 minutes of meeting her, me and this person, it's so hard not to say her name, me and this person straight away started getting to mad chats about like how humans were originally humans had four arms, 4 legs, and a head with 2 faces. And Zeus, in fear of their power, split the human in half, right? Greek mythology. And while I was saying this, she like finished the sentence, and I was like, yeah, Zeus, in fear of their power, split the human in half. And then she interjected and said, so these two souls were in forever search of their ever halves and banished for the rest of their lives to find each other. And I was like, okay, that's a little bit strange. And I thought, okay, whatever, no big deal, we're just in rapport. And then basically we're chatting and chatting. At this stage, there was a hello, Nikki, thanks for joining. At this stage, by the way, if you have any questions along the way, send them through. At this stage, we had not made eye contact at all. And so then basically that's when it happened. I remember it so clearly, and this is like basically like the life-changing moment, where basically we were in the kitchen and we were mid-conversation, mid-sentence, and I remember like looking at her, and that's when our eyes just first locked, like shoo. And in that moment, like, call me insane, I saw my own soul. Like I still can't explain, or I don't think I'll ever be able to articulate exactly how intense the feeling was, or what exactly I saw. Like I saw the universe, I saw my own soul. It was like the trippiest 5 seconds of my entire life. And it's interesting because I was talking to my partner Kelly about it the other day, and she's like, well, like, what do you mean when you saw your own soul? Like, what do you see? And I'm like really trying to remember it here. You know, but I guess my soul saw things that day that I would never be able to forget for the rest of my life. And I remember feeling this like ridiculous, like uncontrollable, like unconditional love for myself, for her, for life. It was just like this crazy like body bliss just coming over me, and all at the same time simultaneously feeling excruciating pain, because in her eyes, what I saw, I feel like, hello Nikki Thompson, thanks for joining, what I saw for the first time is for the first time I actually saw the truth of who I really was. And so what I mean is, like, I saw all of my light, all of the truth of who I was, which I think was the acceleration to who I'd become, and my self-belief and everything. But at the same time, in that one moment, I saw all of my soul's junk and shit. Yeah, so even though in those 5 seconds I was looking at it, I was like overwhelmed by bliss and unconditional love, right? Literally looking to my own soul. At the same time, I remember looking away, literally like this, like someone was energetically stabbing me, because I was repulsed by what I saw as well, if that makes sense. And I remember that night, anyway, the night finished really quickly. I think she got scared. There was this weird energy feeling. Both my housemate and the sister went to bed something ridiculously early, like 7:30, 8 o'clock. You know, and I don't blame the girl for doing that, to be honest, because like I didn't mention, this is not just some silly straight girl crush. The girl is also gay. She had just become engaged to her partner, female partner, literally a week before she'd flown, absolutely Karen, literally a week before she'd flown to Melbourne. So, you know, maybe it's because she felt something too. Maybe it's because she felt like leaky sexual energy from me, because I had literally just felt like I had met the love of my life. I don't know, whatever it was. Bam, that was it. Never saw her again. Still haven't seen this woman ever again, like in my entire life. So basically what this actually did, I went to bed that night and I started Googling like what had just happened? Like, was that like the trippiest fucking acid trip? Like, I've never taken acid in my life. Like, what was that? And I started researching on Google profusely, like what this was, what this meant, blah, blah, blah. And eventually Google led me to a link. 12 signs you've met your twin flame. And I was reading all these signs, like when you first meet them, there'll be this strong like sense of home, that you've come home, is familiarity. You'll have this like knowing that something significant is about to go down in your life. And last but not least, the rippers that really like nipped it in the bud for me was that the eyes are the mirror to the soul, and looking into your twin flame's eyes can be profoundly awakening because you are looking into the mirror of your own soul. And then I just read those words and I knew that's exactly what happened. And then I found other stuff that said that, anything that repressed or that needs to be healed is actually reflected in your twin flame's eyes. So I was like, oh my God, that's why it felt so extremely blissful. But at the same time, it was excruciating, right? And basically this is where I'm going to get vulnerable, because for about 12 months, I spiraled into, like, I wouldn't say a spiral, but I went into this just full obsession that this was in fact the woman that I was meant to be with. She was the love of my life. And, it was like, I was obsessed with the YouTube channels on Twin Flames, and when we were meant to divinely unite, and what I had to do, and I had to work on myself, and two flames that aren't together means that one's the runner and one's the chaser, and I was the chaser, but she was running away, and like just literally. And then what would happen is I would have a dream about her, and then Google would tell me that yes, like you're dreaming about her because you're connecting on the essential plane, and like literally just consumed. Like at one stage, I think I would have bet my life that I was going to spend eternity with this woman. And at one stage, I think I would have done pretty much anything and everything to be with this woman. It was like this sick obsession, like really full-on obsession. And then it got to a little bit like, it was great because I felt like I was healing and upgrading at the same time, because I had this like motivation to do the work, right? Because the more I do the work, then the more that means that we might unite. All at the same time though was, like, why, universe? Why on earth, universe, would you deliver me such a divine experience, such an amazing, soul awakening, extraordinary person into my life? And this magnificent, like literally cannot explain anything else that's ever happened in my life to this like depth that I felt. Why on earth would the universe deliver me this only to never actually let me ever be with her? What the fuck was the point? Like what sick and cruel, twisted joke was the universe playing on me? And I remember like having mad chats with the universe, being like, universe, I am on your side. And I think what made it worse, guys, was researching on Google. A lot of twin flame websites will have you think that, well, they say that, that twin flames are here to raise the vibration of humanity. And twin flames are here because it's their last human experience on earth. So their soul is having their last little dance on earth. And it means we are the most awakened. And when we combine forces, that's when we awaken the universe. And as many twin flames need to get together as possible to raise the vibration of planet Earth. And I was like, fuck, I can't even do my job if I'm not with this woman. Like, I'm literally screwed. So the paradox was like, having my own vision, my own thing, wanting to feel whole and complete on my own, yet deep down, feeling like I wasn't really going to be fully whole and complete because, she was my other half. I was not whole without her. It was that whole when game. When I was united with my twin flame, then life would be perfect. And I sat in this space for a good, 11, 12 months, basically rejecting any woman that came my way because I found the love of my life. You have no fucking idea. Like, you don't even have a chance. Like, literally celebrate for 12 months because you don't even compare to the love I feel for this woman. energetically feeling her and dreaming about her every single week. And it's like, it goes back to that thing where what I'm trying to say here is that, you know, the whole time here, I was like, why would the universe, hello, Millie Rose, why would the universe give me this excruciating experience? Why? You know, and it's like I realized when I changed what I was actually looking for and what I was making this mean, I realized that I did get to experience the soul awakening love that I was after. It just wasn't with her. The soul awakening experience was with me, because what the universe had delivered me was the biggest gift I've ever been given. And that was, the universe was showing me a mirror of my void, my biggest void, my biggest flaw, which is I've always thought that, you know, someone else coming into my life, then I'll be happy, it'll make my life better. So by showing me my void, that you need to love yourself, Alex. Like, you are the love of your life. You are who you have been searching for. Like, you are it. It's not external to you. You literally have it internally inside of you. And until I realized that, you know, that's when everything changed, and sat in the gratitude of this extraordinary gift that the universe had delivered me. Only then did everything shift. And I went from that victim mentality of why me to holy shit, that is amazing. And I think most sites, and even if you go on YouTube for 1 second, hello Kate, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Even if you go on YouTube just for a split second, and type in twin flames, there are like card readings, there's this, there's that. And look, please don't get me wrong, there are twin flames that are meant to be together, there are twin flames that are meant to unite, but I also feel like the misconception is that a lot of Google sites and experts on twin flame journeys and healers and card readers and YouTube channels, like literally purging their emotional shit, because that's how they're getting through it, right, is perpetuating the same cycle of victimhood and disempowerment and that deep longing and pain. And for as long as I was in those 11, 12 months, I kept on perpetuating and feeding the belief of what I wanted to believe. I wanted to believe that she was the one. So what did my reticular activating system search for? It kept on finding things to strengthen my belief that she was in fact the love of my life, my twin flame, and just to hold on a little bit more, just to do the little bit more work. You're the chaser. As soon as you stop wanting her, that's when she'll come along. You know, and it was just really insightful just to see how much most sites will actually romanticize and idealize the twin flame union as the most divine love union that a human can experience in their entire life. And that kind of definition of twin flame kind of makes you want to fight for that sort of extraordinary love, right? It kind of makes you want to think, oh, fuck, I'm special. I better fucking fight for this. Not to mention, you know, I was seeing 1111 everywhere, and I wanted to make that mean something as well, because apparently 1111 is a twin flame symbol, and the fact that you're awakening. And I guess, yeah, what I'm trying to say is I was trapped into that pain and that longing and disempowerment because I was constantly looking at things external to me to strengthen my belief. The paradox of it was that I started this journey in the first place to feel more connected to myself, to the universe, to others, and not to look externally for validation. Yet what was I doing? Not to rely on external validation to make me feel good. And eventually what actually happened is that I eventually chose a meaning that made me feel, thanks Ansley, that made me feel empowered rather than disempowered. So I guess the point to this whole thing is, you know, what is the meaning to it all? It's like life, you know, the meaning is whatever you choose to give it. And you know, and where you focus on is what's going to give you more of it. So if you're in a position now, whatever it is, you know, you can apply this to your twin flame experience, not finding the love of your life, not having the right finances, not having the health, not having the lifestyle, like whatever it is that you're feeling disempowered in, and what is actually happening is you keep finding more and more evidence to strengthen this belief. I invite you and I encourage you to potentially, you know, play the what if game or explore something else that's going to break you from staying in this, I guess, perpetuation and stuck in this cycle. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you all so much for staying the whole journey. I think I lost a few people there because it was a pretty hectic live. But I do set the intention. I've called in my angels for this live. I've called in all of my 7 angels. I rarely get fluffy, but they were my friends for a good 12 months during this experience. But I've called in my angels and my spirit guides and my galactic team and all my light beams and my bodies to literally connect this Facebook Live to the people that need to hear it most. I'm not asking you to share it, but if you feel called, awesome. You know, tag a friend if you know that someone's going through a similar situation like this. I know I was stuck in this for so long. I know people that are in marriages that are now stuck and trapped because they had this intense eye contact with someone and they can't stop thinking about this one person, and now their marriage is dissolving, and it just messy shit. And so I really, really trust that this is going to hit the right eyes, because I wish I'd seen something like this when this first happened, so I wouldn't have stayed in that cycle for so long. And I'm not saying I don't appreciate that, because it really did help me raise my own vibration to a level of 500 hertz, to a level of self-love for myself. However, did I need to stay in there for 12 months? Probably not. I love you so much. Thanks for joining. And I'm going to go part 3 next Thursday, all about a messy breakup I had and what I had to do to truly call in the beautiful soulmate that I'm in with right now, Kelly Bowen. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the flip side.